Now, Scott Morrison did today vow he would deliver on one promise at least to Conservatives, the Religious Freedom Bill that Greg Sheridan was just talking about. And I think that's good because we are talking about a bill to hopefully stop the disgusting persecution of Christians like the Catholic Archbishop of Tasmania, who was dragged before Tasmania's Anti-Discrimination Tribunal simply for preaching the church's position on gay marriage.
The issues that are contained in that bill do not provide the powers to do the things that you talk about. Those powers exist in the law as it stands today, as was introduced.
That's not the grab I meant. Morrison did actually promise he was going to deliver, but I think Morrison's going to have trouble getting his bill through Parliament because some Liberal MPs of the party's left think he's going too far, and former Olympic champion Ian Thorpe today helped their case and made sure that Morrison's bill was going to be a vote loser even if it did get through. It was going to be something monstrous that would see transgender kids kicked out of school.
We want to see it disappear. It has no friends in Parliament. It hasn't the first time it came around, the second time it's come around, and now this is the third iteration of this bill, and it's something that we would prefer to see quashed.
And the worst is that Scott Morrison's response to those claims today sounded actually a bit weak. I mean, he actually admitted that transgender kids could be chucked out of schools, but telling Parliament, oh, well, that was the law already. It was nothing to do with his own bill, which is a fair enough point, but I don't know that it helps people think, what we really need is more protection for religious schools to do things like that. I don't know. Joining me is John Steenhof of the Human Rights Law Alliance, a not-for-profit law firm that helps Christians facing discrimination for their religious belief. John Steenhof, thank you so much indeed for your time. What would the government's religious discrimination bill actually stop that is happening right now?
Thanks, Andrew. Good to be here with you tonight. What this bill would stop is, to be honest, it'll make small incremental changes that'll allow Christians and other people of other religions a shield against the kind of hostility that they're facing every day. We've been talking for a long time with the people who've been drafting this bill about the real cases of people who are facing hostility every day. Every day are religious Australians for their faith. But it's been sad to see the bill hijacked to talk about scaremongering hypotheticals that our Prime Minister seems more than willing to indulge and allow that tail to wag the dog. So we act for a variety of people in Australia who are facing hostility for their faith. We're talking about students in universities who are facing discipline for expressing their views in the classroom, religious views, executives in boardrooms who might support Israel Folau and say so around a table, people getting in trouble for water cooler conversations about religious issues. The workplace right now is a very hostile place for religious Australians, as is the rest of society. And this religious discrimination bill is a largely unremarkable piece of legislation that will give some protection.
But as you're quite correct, the bill's now being attacked for saying, because it doesn't stop transgender children being kicked out of school, which is actually in the current law anyway. And as we saw from that Queensland school the other day, public opinion will actually overturn any school that did try that in the first place. So I don't know what's going on here. Now, whatever people may think of transgender politics, I doubt that many people do want children humiliated like that, transgender children. What's your response to that particular criticism?
Andrew, the transgender child who's been rolled out in this debate is a complete hypothetical. It's a scaremongering furphy. It is a solution in search of a problem. Even the furor about the City Point Christian School in Brisbane, they'd never kicked out any children for their sexuality or for their gender. This is not a real issue, but what it's being used as is a mask for a real hostility towards a pluralistic society where people of religion can live out their faith and where they can express their faith in their institutions like their churches, their schools, their charities. There's an unrelenting and hostile attack from the same critics again and again and again and they bring out these supposed cases of the transgender children when in fact it's a complete and utter furphy and has nothing to do with the religious discrimination bill. The religious discrimination bill
John Steenhof,
is
you're
about...
absolutely correct to point out that Christians have been suffering from a wave of, well, it's almost persecution, I might say, but certainly attacks, belittling, etc., and something needs to be done. Thank you so much for your time.